how to not make the wrong decisions in life. As someone who has been in an 8-year relationship, who's now about to get married, had a 4.0 in both high school and college, has been invested in fitness for 6 years, and has also not been in trouble with the law, I feel like I can at least talk about how to not make the wrong decisions. So with that being said, we're going to talk about how to not make the wrong decisions in life and how it can actually be helpful to think about what would I not want to do in this situation, which naturally leads us to inverse thinking, or the inverse thinking frame. When you're thinking about how not to make the wrong decisions, you're thinking about what you should not do. And this is just simply inverse thinking. So you want to reverse the problem. So if you want to make sure that you don't gain weight, what actions would generate or guarantee failure? What would make sure that you do gain weight? Well, you probably wouldn't go to the gym. You'd probably eat anything you want. You wouldn't care about your sleep. You wouldn't weigh yourself. Those things would all guarantee failure, or at least lead you in the wrong direction. And that's what inverse thinking can do. It can reverse the problem, and then you'll be like, okay, well, I should go to the gym then. I should track my weight. I should eat and track food. I should go to sleep on time. And that can help you at least get a direction and start. Same thing for generating clients for me. If I was trying to not generate clients, I wouldn't reach out to anybody. I wouldn't make any content. I would make sure no one knows about my thing. And it's like, okay, well, if I just inverse that I just need to at least reach out to people, at least make content, and just make sure that people know me, then I can at least have a shot at generating clients, and it puts me in the right direction. That's what's cool about inverse thinking, is that we usually know what not to do. And so if we just don't do that stuff, the inverse of that is the stuff we should be doing, and at least puts us on the right path or the right direction. On top of inverse thinking, how to not make the wrong decision in your life, is to actually think about what's the worst case scenario. We get so caught up in making the right decisions in life, it makes them so stressful. We think that our next decision needs to be the decision that makes us $1 million, the decision that gets us the six-pack, the decision that gets us the wife or the husband. But the thing is, we just so overstress the downside because we want to make this right decision that it stresses us out when it's really not that bad. If you make one wrong decision in life, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Probably not very much. So that can be helpful as well. Just ask yourself, what's the worst case scenario? So you think about, what should I not do in this situation? What's the worst case scenario if I do the things that I shouldn't do? And then finally, that helps you avoid the common pitfalls. It can help you find problems, and humans are engineered to find problems. That's a survival instinct, to think about, okay, there's a tiger right over there, that's a problem, we gotta get away from that. But if life is good with food and plentiful, we don't think about it as much. We just find the new problem to have is, okay, there's no tiger over there, but we gotta make sure we have enough food for the winter. You know what I mean? So there's always something that we continually think about as humans. So for me, with my DMs in the past, I sent Instagram DMs. I didn't use this inverse thinking. And so I wasn't even think about how DM deliverability, basically getting my DM in someone's inbox and make sure they see it, is a huge thing. And so if I would have used inverse thinking to make sure that I can contact someone, which would have then led me to understand that I need to have that deliverability. I didn't even think about that. I wasted so much time sending those DMs when I wasn't getting anything back. So that's the first piece, is inverse thinking. It'd be really helpful to help you not make the wrong decision, at least. The second piece is going to be to prioritize long-term over short-term. If you can just have a thought that runs through your mind every time you make a decision, okay, does this help me short-term or does this help me long-term? This can help you at least not make the wrong decision, because what you will do is you'll start to focus on future you. And one of my favorite ways to do this is the 10-10-10 rule. So with that being said, in 10 minutes, how will I feel after the decision? In 10 months, how will I feel? In 10 years, how will I feel after making this decision? And it really helps you expand your time horizon that you look at something. So in 10 minutes, you may feel great that you ate that bag of candy. But in 10 months, if you eat a bag of candy every day, you're not gonna feel great. And in 10 years, you're gonna feel even worse. So thinking about that and focusing on future you can be helpful when you're looking at the long term. Another thing is to delay gratification. It's easy to choose immediate rewards, and I have been guilty of it. When you think of delay gratifications, I always think of, okay, what am I doing when I'm delaying gratification? Well, I'm using my current resources to then become more valuable in the future and get leverage for them. So an example of this, of what not to do, is to be social media and use that, because that's killing your time and you're getting that instant gratification and not using that time to then give you leverage in the future. With money, it's like material goods. That's something you should not do, because then you don't get leverage for that money in the future and you're thinking only short term. So you want to choose that long-term growth by using your resources now in a long-term way and looking at a longer time horizon so you can get more for them. And then one more final thing when you're prioritizing long-term over short-term is to consider the ripple effect. Consider, by making this decision, what is the opportunity cost, or what else happens by me choosing this? Does it affect my reputation? Does this affect my future money opportunities? For example, when I talked about that time, by spending that time on social media, you're not only killing your current time, but you're killing the opportunity of the future of how that time could be spent working out or building a business. If you use that time differently now, the ripple effect later is crazy. Same thing with reputation. If you make this poor choice now, what kind of reputational effects will it have later that then cost you money or opportunities? So you always want to prioritize that long-term thought over that short-term. The third and the final piece is going to be to embrace decisiveness without perfection. So often people get into decision content and they get about thinking about decisions in their head and they just don't make a decision. Well, that's a problem because that is a decision in and of itself. So you want to embrace the decisiveness without perfection. So with that being said, you want to find and carry the frame of direction over perfection. So instead of focusing on this next step needs to be the step, like I said earlier, that makes me $1 million or gets me the six-pack, does this step get me closer to my goal? Is this step directionally right? That will help you not make the wrong decisions in life, because sometimes if we look for that decision that's going to make us $1 million, we blow our whole nest egg we have. Or we make decisions that we wouldn't normally make if we just thought about it on a longer time horizon. So you want to think about, does this decision get me closer to my goal? And is it directionally right? And then on top of that, you just want to learn from your mistakes. You're going to make wrong choices throughout life. Totally okay. Just make sure that you learn from them and you only learn that lesson once. So that was how to not make the wrong decisions in life. Sometimes this inverse thinking can be really helpful. If you guys like this video, please comment and I'll make more of them.